Today marks the 60th day since the US launched two or more Tomahawk missiles and massacred elementary school children in Minab, Iran. 60 days since that has happened, and 60 days where the Pentagon refuses to release the results of a supposed investigation. Let us not forget, it is 60 days since those children were massacred. 60 days since seafarers, almost 20,000 of them, have been trapped and have not been able to get off their ships. And no one has tried to save them. 60 days since Hexeth, Crusader Pete, has been making his threats, spewing his crusader talk, demanding that the US military commit war crimes. 60 days since Trump has been making contradictory statements on the hour, undermining any prospect of a diplomatic breakthrough. 60 days of EU hypocrisy, spinelessness, nonsensical statements regarding the blockade, regarding international law, regarding the war upon Iranians. 60 days of not expressing any sympathy for the massacred children. 60 days since UK Starmer has continued to lie about the extent of the UK's involvement in this war. And 60 days since he has not expressed even an iota of sympathy for the massacred children in Minab. 60 days since bosom buddy Israel has used the situation to continue the genocide in Gaza, continue criminal behavior in the West Bank, continue to target Palestinian civilians in the West Bank, continue to promote genocidal policies inside Gaza, including using water as a weapon, including looking at how to ethnically cleanse Palestinians from Gaza to Somaliland and the DRC. 60 days of massacres inside southern Lebanon, blowing up entire villages, ethnically cleansing southern Lebanon, demanding that Shias and Shias alone be ethnically cleansed, videotaping, stealing from Lebanese homes, videotaping themselves, grabbing lingerie, and making disparaging comments about Arab women. 60 days of doing exactly what they've been doing in Gaza. 60 days of grift, corruption, self-enrichment of the Trump family. According to Steve Ratner of MS Now, Trump has tripled his wealth to $6.5 billion. 60 days of hearing that Don Jr. and Eric Trump have investments in those companies that have contracts with the Pentagon. 60 days of watching gas prices tick up, now up 47%. 60 days of watching inflation tick up. 60 days of hearing how healthcare is becoming more and more inaccessible and unaffordable. 60 days of watching Iran survive the onslaught, outwit the most powerful military in the world, survive the onslaught by two of the most powerful militaries in the world, actually. Survive the decapitation, supposedly, of many of their leaders. Survive the disinformation about them being fractured or in disarray, and still coming out with unified voices, and watching them deliver one proposal after another. Just today, the Iranians have delivered another proposal via Pakistan. 60 days of watching a madman committing war crimes and threatening to do it all over again. 60 days of watching Trump crash the world economy and harm millions and millions and millions of people around the world. "60 days. Warning, watch what they do, not what they say." We are 60 days into this illegal, ill-thought-out, foolish war on Iranians, because what it's turning out to be is a war on the civilization and citizens of Iran. We have watched over these 60 days the most egregious threats of violence, war crimes, threats to erase civilization. What we have watched over these 60 days is how much hatred Western leaders actually have for Palestinians, for Iranians, for Muslims in general. Over these 60 days, we've also watched the GCC becoming quite exposed to what they have been up to. The UAE and its complicity with Israel. Saudi Arabia not figuring out what to do, whether to support this onslaught on Iran or to say, no, this hurts us too much and back off. 60 days we have watched tectonic plates shift. 60 days we have watched countries creating new alliances and new blocs, de-risking from the United States, trying to decouple from the United States. And 60 days we have watched China and Russia rise and rise and rise. Mostly China. 60 days we have watched the United States so degraded in the eyes of the world. Staggering level of degrading of stature, of trust. 60 days it took for the US to become not just a laughingstock, but a country that is considered to be the biggest threat in the world. And leaders around the world doing everything possible to realign, to reach out to China, to create sovereign wealth funds, to demand de-risking. This is where we are 60 days on. But most importantly, let us not forget that 60 days ago, America massacred children as the first act of this horrible, horrible war.